Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Happy Glam Fab. I'm so happy to have you guys listening. I saw that we gained 2 new listeners overnight, so that's great. Starting slow, but starting strong. So this week's episode is going to be about Big Brother season 19. I have been watching this show since season 5, but this is season 19, and we are now in the season of temptation, which is Big Brother way of just saying we want, to tempt the house guests, which we've always done, but we find new ways every season to say it. I can't remember last year's theme, but it was something strange. And the year before that, it was something odd as well. But this year's a season of temptation, and we've got Julie opening up the show with a nice high ponytail and a great Grecian purple dress. You go, Julie. She is always one to flatter in her outfits. She is always coming to slay. So episode 1, we meet up with the new house guests. We've got Alex, Christmas, Jason, Kevin, Dominique, Mark, Elena, Ramses, Cody, Raven, Josh, Cameron, Megan, Jessica, Matt, and Jillian. From the beginning, I have to be honest, I know some things have come out since, some events have transpired and people are now Team Megan, and that's great. As far as what she's going through, supporting her is important. Please continue to do that. However, before any of that happened, episode 1, when we were getting to know the house guests, Megan made a huge faux pas. She did the thing that I hate girls to do, and they say that line, I don't like girls because they're whiny, blah, blah, blah. I hate that because that's so ridiculous. No 2 girls are exactly the same. No 2 people are exactly the same. You can't group people in because of your experience with a few of them. It's so ridiculous and so stupid. That's usually an excuse made by people who have trouble making friends, or who aren't very likable, or who are already judgy, and people don't like them because they're judgy, so they manifest their own issues by saying these people are whiny. No, you might not be that great of a person, and because you think people are whiny, you don't give people a true chance, or you act a certain way and it makes them uncomfortable around you, and then there you go, you just added another case to what you've already assumed is true about all women. It's ridiculous. I hate that. So I was already not team her. I wasn't sad to see her go, but I was sad to hear about why she left. From the beginning, I kind of like to pick my favorites, although I always say if you want to truly enjoy a reality show where elimination takes place, don't pick a favorite, because then you can enjoy the show unfold. But I don't feel like you have the same passion if you aren't rooting for someone or rooting against someone else, which is why I loved Will Kirby, and I loved Janelle, and I loved Kaysar and Howie. That was my favorite alliance, and James, but I really didn't care for James afterwards. He's extremely problematic. He was a little bit of a chauvinist. But also, this season, I picked my favorites. My number 1 favorite was Kevin. I really want to see Kevin go far. I love Kevin. His whole aura is awesome. I want to see Kevin go far. I want to see Matt go far. I like Matt. His energy is cool. And Dominique. I liked the 3 of them. Immediately hated Josh. I hated Josh. He annoyed me. He kind of comes off as like, I have something to prove, or I want to show people to represent this. Go on this show and represent yourself. I hate when people go, and I know this sounds crazy. I don't like for people to go and just represent a group of people because, one, we've seen a number of people go on and say, I'm going to represent the women out there. Don't do that. I don't need you to represent me because I don't know you, and what you represent may not be what I represent. I don't like when people go on there and try to represent all Black people or all Hispanic people or all Asian people. Represent yourself, because once again, we don't know you. And so if you're trying to represent us and we don't agree with what you do, that's not fun for us to have to watch. Don't say you're representing anybody. Just go have fun and just represent you. So there's that. Josh annoyed me to death. And as the show unfolds, you see him continue to annoy everyone. And I like Matt. I liked, Dominique is cool. I liked her whole energy. She's a freaking nuclear engineer. Is that what she said? That's pretty cool. I don't really... I like people from all walks of life. I am religious, and I don't care for people to take religion into that house. Do what you have to do to nurture yourself and your spiritual mind and body, but don't put that on the game. Does that make sense? So I'm a Christian. So if I went into the house, I would still continue to practice, my Christian ideals, and I would still maintain my Christian views and my beliefs. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go in there and say, I'm putting Jesus on this game. No. And honestly, it feels a lot like a mockery, and it feels a little bit like you're blaspheming. So I would rather you separate the two. The game is based on manipulation and strategy and conniving, and you kind of have to play underhanded. Do what you have to do for yourself and to feed your feed your spiritual embodiment, but don't put that on the game. The game is in and of itself what it is. Either play the game or don't. But I don't like when people do that, because it kind of speaks for all Christians when you do that. And you're going to have to make some pretty bad moves. Yes, forgiveness is integral. But for those on the outside don't understand that. And you're impeding on, adding to the flock. And also you're impeding on the views of Christianity as a whole. And we don't need any more, punishment. So there's that. Also, Mark and Christmas are the same person. I immediately thought they would just link up. I love Christmas. I am rooting for her. But she wasn't my top 3, but she came in at a strong 4. But she and Mark are the same person. Mark's little smile is adorable, by the way. He is funny. He has a Lauren Conrad smile straight across. I think it's so cute. But Christmas, she is a badass, and I want her to dominate this game. If my top 3 don't win, I want Christmas to come through and win it. I like what she stands for. I also really like Alex. Those are my top 5. It stops there. But those are my top 5. Unfortunately, I don't get to root for the people from Dallas. It sucks because it seems like they always pick the same type of person from Texas. Come on. There's so much diversity in Texas. I can't stand that they always want to play into that token look or demographic for Texas, or that same type of person. Elena's funny. I like her, but I would have gone another route. And Cody, I like him in this game, but I would have liked to see a little bit more diversity from Texas. But it is great to see 2 people from Texas on the show at the same time. That's nice. Matt also wears a UT shirt, so I'm not really sure if he went to UT or if he just supports like one of their programs, like their athletic program. I know a lot of people support their athletic program. It's a great school. So I'm interested in seeing how all of this plays out. So we get to see how everyone reacts. All the girls swooned over Matt, which I thought was funny. Also, all the guys swooned over Jessica. Later on, you'll see that didn't play out very well. So you see the first episode with a whole bunch of like temptations and things like that. But I kind of want to just skip ahead past the games. So the first competition, you see Cody and Alex are the last 2. And Cody, the last 3 is Cody, Alex, and Matt. And you see Cody talk to Matt and talk him down off the ledge because Matt's struggling. Cody's struggling too, but he's got a poker face for the ages, which I love that about Cody. He's weird, but I love it. But then he tries to kind of like talk to Alex in a way and talk her down. And she's just like, go screw yourself. Or I think verbatim, she said, yeah, you can kiss my ass. Love it. Alex, you go, girl. She lost on her own, and she is determined to prove a point that she can play the game by herself and for herself. I actually really like that about her. She's extremely spunky. I really like that. I didn't really care for her when I first saw the cast, like their get to know me videos. I didn't really know how to feel about Alex, but I actually really like Alex. Also, we see we're going to just skip ahead. Cameron gets voted off the first night. I'm glad, because when Paul comes back and you see them all trying to convince Paul, give me a friendship bracelet. Cameron was extremely comfortable and extremely like, I got this thing in the bag. You see this in the beginning. You see the ones who have probably watched a few seasons already, and they come in mentally in like week 6 or 7, when really you're still in week 1. Calm yourself, get to know people and get to know the game. The game itself kind of runs very similarly each season, but at the end of the day, every season has new players or different set of players. You have got to take time to get to know the game, and that includes the castmates. you can't jump ahead thinking, okay, I'm automatically going to be here. Paul don't know you, and neither does anyone else. So I'm glad he didn't get a friendship bracelet. And I liked everyone's, but Elena's bribe was my favorite. The cheese sandwich, that was cute. I loved it. I like Elena as a person. I don't really like her in this game, but I like her. So we see Cameron. He's the first one voted out. Next week the next episode we see that Cody wins HOH, and he puts 2 people on the block, Jillian and Alex, and then he tries to get Alex to come over to their side. Jillian and Megan. Megan goes home, reveals that she's having issues with PTSD. She totally put herself in the middle of some nonsense. Same way Josh did. I'm not going to go into that because it was ridiculous, but Josh made up in his mind that everyone was after him, and then totally ruined his game by taking that golden was it egg or something, whatever they were getting, the golden statue, so that he could be safe for 1 week. And no one was even eyeing him until after he did that. I just want him to go home. I hate him. I'm ready for him to go home. He is annoying the hell out of me. But anyway, we see Megan and Jillian go up on the block. Megan goes home, so Alex replaces her. Cody immediately regrets it, tries to get her to be on his side. She won't do it. Love it. Alex, stay strong. And then we see that play out to her favor because he seems infatuated with her. I think he really respects her gameplay, and I think he really respects her resilience. But then also, and I think that's not something he's really getting from Jessica. Jessica's extremely beautiful, but I think that she kind of fell into him. She was into him episode 1. And so she really didn't have any resistance. He didn't really have any kind of fight for her, or any kind of they didn't connect more before they just became the house couple, I think. And I think he got bored real fast, just to be honest with you. I think he's really into Alex, and I'm not sure if it's romantic, but I think he's into Alex. I think he has some sort of connection with her, just whether it's respect of her gameplay or just respect for her thinking for herself. We see this tangle over and over and over again. He's trying to convince her to come over to his side. She says no. He decides to throw the POV so that she can win it. She takes herself off the block. He pisses off his entire alliance, the couple's alliance, putting Christmas up. And that wasn't their plan. So we see the house get divided over who knew about this. Jessica, unfortunately, gets swept under the bus. She didn't know about it. And you see her vehemently trying to get him to play it safe. It is week 1. Jessica, get out of that sinking ship. Cody's going home, sweetie. We see that Cody then, first, before he puts up Christmas, he tries to put up Paul, who he never tells his group that he's going to try to go after. Paul has the temptation. And then Paul uses the temptation. He can't be put up for 3 weeks. Totally blindsides Cody. I liken that back to the coup d'etat when Jeff was about to be put up, or Jeff takes himself off the block and he gets Jesse sent home. Love that episode. Love that season. And poor Jordan goes, I don't even know what a coup d'etat is. Anyway, sorry. So we see him, really early in the game to have some sort of power, but they knew Paul being the only return, he was going to need it. Thank you, big brother. So he has this temptation, the pendant of protection, and he can't go up. So Cody then puts up Christmas, who he kind of made a deal with to go to jury to protect each other. Pisses her off and wakes her the hell up, and I love it. So now at this point, Cody and Jessica have pretty much everyone against them outside of Mark, and I want to see how this plays out. As Dave Vaughn said on Twitter, she's one of my favorite house guests ever. I love when the house is divided early, and I do too. Last year, it felt like everyone was not last year. Yeah. No, the year before last. Season 17, it felt like everyone voted the same up until week 5 or 6. This season, they're starting off early. Everyone came to play the game, and I like this cast because it seems like everyone is in it to win it. I don't really see any Zakias. I don't see anyone that's just kind of going to play the field, play the background while everyone else gets their hands dirty. I want to see everyone digging in and trying to win this game. So that's where we leave off up until this week, where we have the vote. Paul campaigns for Jillian to go home. Oh.